Good morning! We're continuing our river cruise on the River Rhone with Riviera Travel. If you missed the introductory video, there's a link up top now and in the text below. Our boat, the William Shakespeare, cast off from Avignon under a threatening sky and motored the short distance downstream to the lovely town of Arles. I'm not sure if it's a town or a city. I've seen it described as both. Either way, it's now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Many of the towns and cities in the south of France have impressive Roman ruins to see, and Arles is no exception. We're coming up to the amphitheatre, the most prominent tourist attraction in the city. This was built in the 1st century BC, so it's been standing here for over 2,000 years. Amazing! In its prime, this could comfortably seat 20,000 spectators. Arles is one of the oldest cities in France and has been described as shabby chic and laid back, but still fairly lively. Walking around the streets, that's a pretty good description. If I was thinking of moving to France, I'd definitely consider moving here. The Roman theatre was built around the time that Jesus was alive and had seating for about 8,000 people. Most of it's gone now, much of which went to build the town wall in the Middle Ages. They had no respect for Roman antiquity then. The theatre now hosts festivals again during the summer. We're now in the Place du Forum, the historical city centre. This statue is of Frédéric Mistral, a Nobel Prize-winning writer. The square is well known because of the famous painting from Vincent Van Gogh called Terrasse du Café le Soir, an oil painting which he painted in mid-September 1888. And this is what it looks like today. Not too different. This is the Place de la République in the city centre of Arles. In front of the town hall we can see an obelisk. This is a 4th century Roman obelisk which was originally erected in the Roman circus. It was re-erected here in 1676. The fountain was added during the 19th century. Here too is the church of Saint-Trophime. This is considered to be a masterpiece of 12th century Romanesque architecture and is one of Provence's major Romanesque monuments. It was built between the 12th century and the 15th century. The sculptures over the church's portal are considered some of the finest examples of Romanesque sculpture. Vincent Van Gogh came to Arles and stayed for over a year. In this time he produced more than 200 paintings. Unfortunately, many of the places that Vincent Van Gogh visited and painted were destroyed during bombing raids in World War II. We can still see the Espace Van Gogh, which was originally built in the 16th century as Arles' main hospital, and it remained as a hospital well into the 20th century. Its major claim to fame is that it was here that Van Gogh was committed after the infamous episode of cutting off his left earlobe in December 1888. The courtyard has been extensively planted out to resemble as closely as possible his famous painting Le Jardin de l'Hôtel de Dieu. The complex now houses the town library, as well as exhibition spaces, a series of souvenir shops and a cafe. Well, that's a whistle-stop tour of the historic centre of Arles. Near Arles is one of France's top tourist attractions, which is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is the stunning Pont du Gard, one of the best preserved Roman sites in the world. This magnificent structure isn't a bridge to allow traffic to cross the river valley. This is an aqueduct. This was built solely to carry water across the river valley to the town of Nîmes. The bridge stands 160 feet high and is almost 900 feet long. It's the tallest of all Roman aqueducts. It was completed around the middle of the 1st century AD, and it's believed to have taken about 15 years to build, employing about 1,000 workers, many of whom would have been slaves, of course. The aqueduct was built to channel water from the springs near Uzès to Nîmes. From start to finish, that was a distance of about 31 miles. The Pont du Gard was constructed largely without the use of mortar. The blocks were precisely cut to fit perfectly together by friction and gravity, eliminating the need for mortar. Some of the individual blocks weigh up to 6 tons. It was so precisely built that one end of the Pont du Gard is only 1 inch lower than the other, just enough to allow the water to flow through the channel. The builders would have made extensive use of cranes and block and tackle pulleys to lift the stones into place. For the largest blocks, a massive human-powered treadmill would have been used. These machines were still being used in the quarries of Provence until as late as the start of the 20th century. A complex scaffold was erected to support the bridge as it was being built. Large blocks were left protruding from the bridge to support the frames and scaffolds used during construction, and we can still see these today. It truly is a magnificent sight. There's also a visitor centre, including a museum and reconstructions of how the aqueduct was built and life in Roman times. If you're ever in the area, the Pont du Gard really is a must-see to add to your list. I hope you found this video interesting. If you have, please give us a like or leave a comment, and consider subscribing to our channel on YouTube to see more walking videos on Walk with Rob. Thanks very much for watching.